Hi, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Dan. This is Engelgeist. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very, very much. I greatly appreciate that. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon page, please go over to patreon.com. Pick a subscription level. You can get the daily forecast a day early. There's also other readings that are available over there that are only available over there. So things going on over there that are special to that. So you can check that out. Other ways you can support the channel is through liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I greatly appreciate that. It lets YouTube know that you guys are enjoying my content. And you can also book a private reading with me on my Facebook business page. All of that stuff should be linked via the upper right hand corner of the YouTube channel, or you should be able to find everything on Facebook. So that's available to you too. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my tag is at Engelgeist333, so you can follow me there too. And this is for the forecast for Monday, May 25th. This is a timeless reading, so if you're watching this and it's not the 25th of May, don't turn it off. You could be in tune for this message at a different time than when it was actually broadcast. So the intention is the message be for the highest and greatest good, so I believe that it's always, at that point, it becomes timeless. So let's see, what do we need to know for this Monday? We had some pretty heady energy in the Sunday forecast. If you didn't see the Sunday forecast, at the end of this video, it will pop up in the left-hand corner of the videos to watch so you can understand what I'm referencing. We had the Death card as the beginning energy of this week, which would represent for Sunday, Monday, quite possibly some of you for Tuesday, moving into the Hanged Man energy. So those being sort of a little bit struggle bus and being major arcana, it feels like for the majority of you, this could be a rather impactful early part of the week. So keeping that in mind, let's see what these cards say too, because these sort of add to that. So we have the Dream Carrier. Wow. Okay, so this is the Empress. She's all about fertility and creativity. She's all about, in this story in particular, because I read this way early in the month when we first started working with this, and this was something that I sort of picked up. It feels like she has, you know, this child here, and she's sending him out into the world. And she feels sort of scary, you know, it feels scary to her because she has to kind of put him out there and let him experience his own sort of, you know, interaction with the world. She has this book, and I think this is I believe that in the book they said it was a pomegranate. To me it looks like an apple, but between the book and the fruit, to me it's about like she's educated him and nourished him as much as she can, and it's time for him to go out into the world. The Empress is one of the most like sort of motherly cards of the deck. I feel like one of the more feminine presences of the deck, probably if not the most feminine presence of the deck. She is major arcana, and sort of when I think about that Death card, and then I think about it being sort of coupled with this Empress card, to me it's like not only are things maybe dying off for us, but new things could be being created at the same time. Especially on this Monday morning, right? We're watching this on a Monday morning, so I want you guys to understand that whatever you guys are contemplating, creating, thinking about, if there's any fear, worry, trepidation of the unknown, I think that those things are okay, but we don't want to let those things rule us. I think that she is, she's the dream carrier, right? Last week we had, at the end of the week, we had the dream protector, which was the Emperor, right? So she's like the creator of the dream. And this child is sort of like representational of the culmination of maybe her dreams. You know, she's sort of harbored them, built them, entertained them, energized them, nourished them, nurtured them, and now it's time to kind of let them go out into the world and allow them to sort of grow and either take root and become what we want them to be in all of our hopes and glory. But like, it's funny because that we've got that death card, that wise fox card lurking underneath this, and to me, I feel like that is sort of the worry that I feel like with this card today. Is it feels to me like there's a, how do I want to describe this? I don't want to freak you guys out, but I almost feel like she feels the threat of the death card around this idea of this child, right? Like, and I think what that death card maybe represents is we have to let go of that fear that that she has here. That we have to realize that we have to trust at a certain point. That we have to realize that spirit will sort of carry this child wherever he needs to go, and that if we truly believe and we are sort of the dream carrier, we have to allow it to be carried at some point. You know, she's carried him a certain point through like pregnancy or fertility or that sort of idea of birth that the Empress represents, but he's now old enough to go out on his own. He's been educated, the dream has been energized, or the idea has been thought about. The what do I want to say? Like the opportunity is now present. But we have to sort of let any sort of self-doubt, any fear, any of those things sort of be embraced by that death card that we saw, to allow ourselves to let him go. And I'm thinking about that hangman energy too, and I feel like she's sitting behind him sort of in a little bit of fear of letting him go. So where I want to go with this is I want to ask, what are our dreams? How far have we carried them? Have we carried them to a sense of completion and now they sort of need to be released or honored and made real? Do we need to take active steps towards letting them become more real for us? And are we in fear of that? Are we caught up in self-doubt? Is that going to be that hangman energy that we have coming in the midweek? Are we caught between this? To me, the Empress is about this idea of creation, right? And I feel like seeing her today, this Monday, I feel like she feels trapped between the idea of the wise fox death card and the hanged man in the midweek. There's this trepidation that she's feeling like, is now the right time to make this move? Is now the right time to let this child go? Is now the right time to put our dreams into reality? Is now the right time to really be entertaining these things? And I think that it is, but I think that we have to also trust that. We have to understand that to move forward, we have to allow our dreams to sort of take flight or take movement. And so we have to let any sort of fears, worries, self-doubts die off and not hang us up in the midweek with that hanged man energy. Let me look at the mystical Shaman Oracle. She's a powerful card. It's interesting because we have death and then she represents birth, like the cycle, the full cycle of death and birth is like right in front of us. And which one are we focusing on? And then my next question is are we allowing this fear or this worry that I feel like is in this Empress card, are we allowing it to affect what we're birthing? Either through, our energy, our emotional energy, or are we, you know, reluctant to release our dream or carry our dream in fear that something may happen to it, hence that Hanged Man energy? Because she's seated in her chair too, like she doesn't feel like she wants to move forward to me in this card today. She feels very worried. The spiral. Whoa. What is going on here? Alright, so this is card number 50, which boils down to a 5, which is all about change. The spiral feels to me okay. This sounds a little bit far off, guys. It sounds a little bit crazy, but I'm just going to deliver it as I sort of feel like what I'm seeing. And we'll read the spiral because I don't know the definition of the spiral. But to me, when I'm looking at the headiness of the cards that are happening or the way that they're playing out and sort of what was going on with the Wise Fox from yesterday's reading and sort of the underpinning energy of everything, this spiral to me feels like a portal or a doorway opening up. It feels to me like decisions that are being made right now in the moment and where we're making them from is opening sort of doors or portals that start sort of changes in motion. That's the 5 of the spiral that starts it spinning. Like that sets us down a path. And that may be the reluctance that we see in the Hanged Man coming up in the midweek. I mean, we'll have to see what tomorrow's cards are, but I just sort of feel like, to me it feels like if this, I wish I could express what I'm sort of sensing here. It feels like if this Empress lets this little boy leave, right? If she releases him into the world, she's educated him, she's energized him, she's dwelled with this dream, she's sort of carried this dream, she wants this dream to be real, right? But is this, it's like, it's almost like this, I keep, like in my mind, this sounds so weird, I'm being taken to this place of like nature and how a mother has to release her baby into the wild at some point. And when she does, there's risks involved, and the risks are that Hanged Man and the Death card on either side of us, on either side of this Empress, and she's intuitive enough and sort of nurturing enough to feel it. She understands the gravity of the choices that she makes. So she can hold this boy back, right, and keep him with her where she thinks he will be safe. But in some ways, that sacrifices the dream too, right? And I feel like, this is so strange, I feel like it's interesting, her dress sort of matches this spiral in color. But I sort of feel like this spiral is asking us to jump in. Like it's challenging us or requiring us to sort of jump in, but where it's going to take us, we don't know. We can't sort of see, like, to me, I feel like I can't sort of see where this goes. I want to read the spiral to understand what this card represents, but to me, this feels like literally, I feel like a portal or a door is being opened. And I know that sounds so friggin' weird, but it's like, I feel like it's almost like this feels like a fork in the road and we make a choice, and I don't feel like there's a wrong choice. Like either way, we learn something profound with that Hanged Man and the Death card on either side of this Empress in the spiral. Let me look at the spiral really quick. I'm going to read it to you guys. I'm sorry I'm not being like totally clear, because I feel like this is about us taking a risk. This is about us releasing our dreams, the dreams that we've carried with us, the dreams that are deep within us, the dreams that we want to give birth to. If we give birth to them in a time like right now, with sort of death and the hangman dancing around us, it feels dangerous. It feels like now is not the time. But if we hold the boy back, the dream doesn't come alive either. And I feel like this portal or the spiral feels like now, like it almost feels like now is the time. Like this is the door opening, this is the window opening. Like I feel like when I'm looking at this card, before even reading the definition, it feels like, okay, the door is open. It feels scary, it feels unknown, but if we don't sort of release the boy and let him go on his journey, we'll never know. And the spiral is almost, it feels like it's asking us to enter, and there's definite change. This being card number 50, like fives are about changes, so there's definite shifts and changes that are happening that I think some of us might be aware of or frightened of. Let me read the spiral. The spiral, the essence. From galaxies in the sky to diminutive shells at the beach, the spiral is found extensively in the natural world. Its shape in the form of a coiled serpent has been used since ancient times as a tool for growth and transformation. That's funny, yesterday I wrote the keyword for this week is transformation in the chat. The spiral is a guide for entering deep into one's consciousness and the unknown, and then extending far out into the heavens. It is crucial to surrender to this journey until the exhausted paradigm dissolves in the depths of the psyche, and its energy is released to give birth to a new reality. The invitation to renew yourself. You must shed your old skin. You have already done this. That's the death card, guys. So do not keep scraping away at the old, but welcome the soft new skin that is starting to grow. Break the habit of working on your faults all the time and let nature take its course. Know that a new skin feels vulnerable and scary at times. Trust the medicine of the spiral as it guides your journey of renewal. The medicine, the spiral announces a descent to the depths and a rebirth, allowing nothing to get in the way of this process. As the time is right and the forces of nature are supporting you in this endeavor, using stones, twigs, or yarn, build a spiral on the ground that is large enough to walk through with at least 3 turns. Enter the spiral slowly. Once in the center, offer to the earth the feelings or situations that you no longer want in your life. As you walk back the way you entered, feel recharged for your new journey. And that's what I mean by this sort of portal opening up. Like I feel like a door or a window is like opening and then it's going to close. Like I feel like, and that's the death card. That's the sort of hanged man card. There's this decision that I just feel like there's a permanence to a decision that's being made if we choose to make it. With this spiral, I feel like it's opening up, allowing us to walk in. And once we walk in, it's like there's no kind of turning back. Does that make sense? It sets about the path, and then we have to, continue through that path. See that path all the way to completion. Okay. So this is a weird stone to have, because this has been like not the most clarified reading. The focus today, or what we should ground in, is clarity. I think that right now what we need to do is like be as grounded in clarity as possible. What is it that we want? How is it that we want it? What is it that we've worked towards? What is it that we're challenged by? We need to be clear on all of these things. On the things that challenge us, I feel like we need to let them go, or we need to let them die off. We need that wise fox energy, that death card, to sort of take that away from us. We need to sort of, I do believe that like the opportunity here is to step into this spiral, even though we don't know where it's going to end up or how it's going to end up. We have to sort of trust. There's this part about this trusting of the sort of the universe and the journey. but we also need this sort of clarity within, like, almost that we will be clear. We will be clear. We need to be clear that we will be okay no matter where we get taken, no matter what happens. That's the challenge that I feel comes with these cards today. Some of you may not step into this spiral even by the midweek. That might be the Hanged Man energy. That might be what you're sort of deciding. We'll see what tomorrow's cards present too, because that could shift and change everything. But today, it's about finding our clarity as best we know how, and staying grounded in that as we choose to make decisions about whether or not to release this boy and allow him to sort of step into the spiral. Allow our dream to sort of go out into the universe and maybe potentially get created. I hope that makes sense, guys. I'm sorry I can't be more like definitive, but that's sort of the feeling I'm getting. I'm getting this very weird otherworldly feel from these cards today. I'm seeing the idea of maybe fear running rampant a little bit for people, or this idea of, and the counterbalance would be that clarity, right? But I am seeing this idea that we don't want to allow the fear and the worry to be our guide. Because I feel like if we walk into the spiral with that, we sort of don't do the spiral justice. We don't give the spiral enough to work with. The spiral wants to grow us, I feel like. Teach us. We need to be strong. Clear. All right, that is your forecast for the day. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow with more information as to this week progressing. Thank you so much. I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.